Hello everyone, it's me again for the weekly video. I've got a bunch of different stuff to talk about. The first thing I will talk about is my binder that I got on Friday. It helps a lot, actually. So my breasts are at like a double D, apparently. I don't know. I stopped wearing real bras like in middle school. So I got my binder, and it actually compresses really well. It doesn't compress everything just because my breasts are so large and breast-like. But it definitely helps. The only thing is that I am only wearing it for short intervals of time right now because it's not exactly constricting. It's not impeding my ability to breathe or anything like that. But there's like a mental block there that I'm still working on getting past because it feels like my breathing is being constricted. And I have a thing with like constriction because I've had a traumatic event related to it in my past that I don't feel like talking about today. So that's just going to take some time to overcome. But other than that, really happy with the purchase, and I can definitely see it coming in handy in the future. Second bit of information is my haircut. I love it. I think it's very me. I've had a style like this before that I thoroughly enjoyed. It's really just like shaved on both sides and around the back. So, sorry, I heard my phone made a noise, and I'm still not out to the world yet, so I'm still very paranoid about some of this actually like leaking out to my community of people that know me. I highly doubt that they're going to find me on here, and if they do, then that's just going to be how it happens. So yes, haircut. I really like it. My hair is already pretty much taken to this style. It usually doesn't take long to train my hair in this way, so that's good. I don't have to do much to it. It's easy. It's androgynous. It rocks. I do need to dye it at some point though, because blonde is not like, does not align with my personality. I'm much more of the darker side. So moving on to the exciting part of this video, I had my first appointment with my primary care doctor about starting testosterone therapy. And that appointment actually went really, really well. So when I came in, the first thing he asked me was, well, tell me about your journey so far. So I did. I detailed, and I went through all of that in the first video that I put up for you guys. And I basically just went over everything with him. I went over what some of my short-term goals were and some of my longer-term goals. He even let me know that apparently there is some way that he could potentially refer me for a reduction and not necessarily a complete mastectomy, which is super cool because maybe in the future I might consider that. It's definitely something that I've not ruled out. I don't want the whole breast removed though. So again, something for the future. Talked about some of my short-term worries, like the acne that I have. That's actually gotten better. It's not as bad as it was when I made my first video, I don't think. So since I've introduced some different stuff into my routine, but he did prescribe a acne cream to put on at night, so that should be helpful in getting rid of the rest of it and keeping cystic acne at bay, especially when I start testosterone. So yes, he did prescribe me testosterone on my very first visit. There was no letter. I haven't seen a mental health professional in a year, and that was only for the diagnosis of ADHD. I had like 3 years of therapy, like way a long time ago. I want to say when I was like 25 or 26. So it's been a good 5 years now, at least, since my real like therapy. I did let him know that I am starting therapy in October, just to navigate some of the issues I feel like I might face during transition. I feel like it would be good to have that support in place before the issues start, rather than trying to wait and wait and wait while I'm having a hard time. So he was glad about that, but that wasn't a deciding factor in whether or not he was going to prescribe me testosterone. So he did order some blood work. I am vitamin D deficient. My friends have lovingly referred to me as a day walker. I tend to work really weird hours, so I'm not out during the day all that much. Like right now, it's 4 o'clock, and I'm getting ready for my bedtime because I get up in the middle of the night for work. Anyway, so vitamin D deficient, he does want me to start taking vitamin D supplements, which is fine. I'll do that. He also checked my cholesterol levels, and that was only because I mentioned in my past I have been borderline high cholesterol, and I do know that testosterone can elevate those lipids a little bit, so I want to keep that in check just to make sure I'm my best self. I want to be healthy. So he did measure those, and so I'm going to look up and kind of really start adhering to like the low cholesterol diet plan, so I can keep that in check as I'm working through this transition. So, left the appointment with a prescription for testosterone. Super fucking cool. I was so excited that I was like shaking. But there was a downside to getting the testosterone that I did not anticipate. The pharmacy. So, called the pharmacy, found out that they had to, my insurance had to pre-certify the testosterone, that they would pay for my testosterone, essentially. So my insurance company sent some paperwork to my doctor. He filled those out and sent them back, and they approved it. So it was Tuesday when the paperwork got started. Okay, Monday I got the prescription. Tuesday is when they did all of the paperwork. And then this morning, my doctor's office called me saying that my insurance had approved everything for a year. So yay, I've been approved for a year of testosterone treatment. Super fucking cool. So, sorry, my nose is itchy. I'm not picking it, I promise. So my prescription was supposedly sent to my pharmacy. Now, this particular pharmacy I've had issues a couple times with already, and I've only been in town for 2 months now, so if that tells you anything. So first of all, just a disclosure before I go into this, do not base your prescription off of anybody else's prescription. Your prescription is unique to you. Your dosage is unique to you. And my dosage is unique to me. It is tailored to my body, my goals, and what I want to achieve in my transition. So when I start talking about my dosages and stuff, I don't want you to take that as standard, because it's not. We're all individuals, and we all need different things. So, moving on. I called the pharmacy, and the lady that I spoke to, she's immediately just super pessimistic, like, oh, I don't even know if this is going to go through. And so she pushed it, and it did go through. She's like, oh, it's going to be $20. And I'm like, hell yeah, I will pay $20 for a month's worth of testosterone. Like, that's nothing. That's fine. Like, I was totally anticipating it being a little more expensive than that, actually. So beyond that, I was like, well, when can I expect it to be ready? Like, I know it might be a little bit. I know it's not something that people generally keep in stock. It's not a regularly prescribed medication, but I was just curious about a timeline so I could make plans over what day, because I've got exams coming up. I've got fucking work. I've got my kids have appointments. They're getting ready to start school. I got to plan my shit, man. So I asked, and first off, the lady laughed at me. So that was already like clue number one that this was going to be a shit show conversation. Second off, she said that the doctor prescribed the medication wrong. And I was like, what? She says, oh, well, it's supposed to be in a 200 milligram per milliliter multiple use vial. Bitch, no, it's not, because me and my doctor sat down for 15 minutes and discussed exactly the right dose, exactly the right way that he wanted it to be given to me, and exactly the right way for me to give it to myself. We chose to go with the single use 100 milligram per milliliter vials in my dosage, because my dosage is going to be 50 milligrams per week. And he thought it would be easier to get an accurate dose with the single use vials. So I'd be able to draw up 0.5 milliliters as opposed to 0.25 mLs out of a multi-use vial. That's the 200 milligrams per milliliter. So I was like, yes, that sounds like a great idea. We will do that. But she's like, no. And I was like, wait, hold up. This is the conversation. I told her everything that I just said to you guys. And she's like, oh, so he did that on purpose. Well, we just don't carry that much of it around. So it's still going to be a while. We can order it for you. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to figure out when. Like, I'm not upset at like, and then she's like, oh, and by the way, there's another prescription. We don't know what it's for because it just says apply to affected area. Like, bitch, this is a well-known acne cream. Like, how do you not know it's well prescribed? Like, it's applied to my face because my face is where I'm having acne. Anyway, so moving on, more about the testosterone stuff. And then she's all like, well, we don't have the type of needles and syringes that you need to be able to give yourself this dosage, because the types that he ordered were, you know, really obscure and we don't carry those and blah, 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 blah. So he needs to figure out a different way. Maybe you can take it IM because we carry those syringes here. And no. So we talked about how subcutaneous weekly injections would be the best way to maintain consistent levels, and how that was important to me because I do have ADHD and I do take Adderall, and I don't know how these are going to interact. I do know that both of them have similar side effects, and I don't want them to be amplified. I want everything to be evenly keeled. I want this to be as smooth as it possibly can be. There is a reason that it was prescribed to me in that way. A little bit mad. So anyway, I'm sorry, I completely lost my train of thought there for a second. All right. Anyway, so she says we don't have that. She can order those, and she doesn't know when they'll be in, and blah, blah, blah. Maybe I should call my doctor and see if I can get things changed around. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should call my doctor. So we got off the phone at that. I called my doctor and I was like, bruh, these bitches are insane at fucking Walmart. I don't know what to do. They're being weird about my dosage. I'm scared that they're not going to give me my medication. I feel like all of this is a little bit discriminatory. Like, that's what I feel like it is. That's the way it seemed. She seemed really to not really care. Like, and at one point she told me, she was like, oh, well, since you haven't started taking it yet, it won't hurt if you wait a little while longer. Bitch, would you say that to a diabetic who is starting insulin for the first time? Would you say that to a heart patient that's coming home from the hospital from heart surgery that needs a new heart medication? No. So why are you saying it to me? Doesn't make any fucking sense, right? Be your own advocate. Sorry, that's just something that I felt that needed to be said, because it's really fucking hard, and it's frustrating, and it's tiring. Like, bruh, this was hard enough for me to ask for at the doctor's office as is, and fucking before day one even starts, I've got to fight with the goddamn pharmacy. Beyond that, called my doctor, and they were like, well, that's fucked up. So we're gonna see about sending you. How do you feel about changing your pharmacy? And I was like, yes, please, because like I said, I've already had issues with these guys in the past. So changing my pharmacy right now, that's been within the last couple hours today. I am waiting on my new pharmacy to either give me a call, or I'm going to give them a call at some point in the next couple hours, because I want to make sure that it's there. I would like to start taking it this week. That would be really, really awesome. I really wanted to include my first injection in this video, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. That's fine. But it's just really frustrating that I'm already having to deal with this sort of stuff. And maybe it's not a discrimination thing. Maybe it's just a disorganized, crappy pharmacy. But it's just really hard mentally right now to take everything in. Like, it's scary, it's exciting, and then all these complications come up, and I'm not experienced talking with people aside from my husband about issues like this. So it's hard. It's hard to be an advocate when you're so new to, talking about this sort of thing. So there's all that. I do feel a little bit better now that I've gotten that off my chest. Aside from that off note about today, I am really excited about everything, and I do plan on doing a video where I give myself a subcutaneous injection. I am actually professionally trained in how to give subcutaneous injections. My doctor's office did offer to teach me, but I turned it down just because I already know. So I'm totally fine with that. But I did want to give a proper video explanation, and I feel like it's better if people can see it on an actual person. That way they have an idea of what to expect. And I feel that it's kind of, since I do have the training, why not? I'll show people how this shit goes down. So yeah, I will, hopefully my next video will include me giving myself my first shot of testosterone and following up about how this second pharmacy has handled things and how that experience went. But anyway, thanks for listening, you guys. Remember to advocate for yourself, research your medications, know why it is that you need to take them in a certain way at a certain dosage, so that you can advocate for yourself in situations like this. Be healthy, love yourself, love you guys. I'll see ya in a few days, hopefully.